As a visually impaired man, getting around some areas of the state of Minnesota can be difficult. So when I'm in downtown, I don't really have that much difficulties traveling around because when I all the street lights talk. So when I click on the crosswalk light, it'll say walk. You are crossing blah 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 street. Wait. You are crossing blah 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 street. Wait. You are crossing blah 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 street. You can go. And then you can just walk across. Um, but some areas of Minneapolis, like the poor areas, they don't have those technologies yet. So then I pull out my white cane that always carries me in my backpack, and then I can pull it out, and then the normal people who can actually see better than me will know, okay, this guy's crossing is he's visually impaired or blind. We have to be more careful as this guy's crossing the road so we don't run him over because he can't see the details or he can't see us. So then, I listen for the cars and I'm like, okay, the cars are in front of me are like heading like horizontal. So you mean I can't go because I'm going to get smashed by 15, 16 cars. But once the car, and then, once you feel the cars are like heading from your back, your butt to your front, okay, this I can walk because the cars are not flowing in my direction. But if the cars are like going from my left to right or my right to left, I can't cross because I'm gonna get hit. So eventually you kind of learn. You just have to like close your eyes and just listen. And eventually you to learn the flow of traffic and in your local area, and then you kind of get to know how you kind of cross or when you can kind of cross the street. And also sometimes when I'm allowed to cross the street and the walking person is green, sometimes people are just impatient with me. And I'm in the middle of the road just walking and they're literally driving around me. And I'm like, come on, dicks, you almost want to say. I'm halfway across. Just fucking wait. You don't have to like drive around me in the middle of the road as I'm trying to cross with my white cane out. But you mean it's just some people are just idiots and they don't have patience for you, and you just have to deal with it. I also use on my computer, I also use magnification. If you hit Windows Plus, your screen will start getting bigger and you can start moving around. And you hit Windows minus, your screen will get smaller. And it's like the magnification tool. And because I still have some vision left, that tool is normally all what I need. But if you have worse vision than me, there's a software called JAWS, and another one called NVDA that is called a screen reader. So it will literally read to you what's on the screen. So people who are completely out or have low vision than me, when they're navigating the screen with a mouse, everything their mouse touches, the screen reader will tell them what their mouse is touching. And so then they know what's on the computer screen, and then they can use a computer just like everyone else. My favorite program when I was playing with them is JAWS, because JAWS it's also a screen reader. So once like okay, there's an article on the screen, the exit button's up here, the minimize button's here, the search bar of this news article's here, the sharing button's here. You can tell JAWS to say, okay, now read me the article or read me what's on the screen. And then it'll tell you then it'll read you the article or the website or whatever. NVDA is just a screen reader. It just tells you where things are. And then from there, you have to figure out how to read it yourself. But that software is free. And NVDA is a lot of use in a lot of places like India, South America, Southwest Asia, like Indonesia, poor countries who can't afford expensive software. Because JAWS is better because it has a screen reader and all that in it, and all that stuff, but it costs you like $600 a year just for that program. But if like you're a poor person that doesn't have $600 American, you have to use a software like NVDA. It's not as good as JAWS, but it's free. So so then you just use the free software out there that's not as good as the paid software like JAWS, but um, but yes. And another sacrifice of being a visually impaired person is like me, because I'm not blind, I'm visually impaired. So I have some sight, but is not as good as a non-visually impaired person or normal person who has good vision. Um, a lot of things I face is discrimination because when I do a job interview, and I do the interview and I tell them at the end that hey, I'm visually impaired. These are the accommodations I need. Blah blah blah. A lot of them say okay, we'll call you back, and they never call me back, right? And so then I normally give them 2 weeks, and then I call them back saying, "Hey, do you still? Hey, how are you guys doing? Blah blah blah." And they say the job is full, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm disappointed." And then I go to their website, and they're still saying they're still looking for people. So because I'm disabled, I get discriminated against a lot. And the most discriminatory industry is the IT industry. I went to school to be in IT. Okay? I dreamed about being in IT. But the sad part is the IT industry is also the most discriminatory industry. So that if like you're disabled, they're like poop. They don't want to hire you. A lot of the companies that are willing to hire me are jobs that I do not prefer, but I'm so happy that they're willing to hire me. Like the Mall of America, customer service. I don't want to work in customer service for the rest of my life. But they're the only one that was willing to hire me with my disability. DCM Services, a debt collector agency. I don't want to collect debt, but because no IT company will hire me because of my disability, that's the only job I can. That's the only job that will take me. McDonald's. I didn't want to make fries, but because of my disability and I can't drive, that was the option I was stuck with. Um, and then Cub Foods was actually the company I actually didn't mind of like jobs. I actually didn't mind working for because Cub Foods actually just cleaned. They tell me you're gonna clean, and I just cleaned and helped old ladies load their groceries into their cars. And the job was straight up, pay minimum wage. I just cleaned, and I liked how Cub Foods was unionized. I liked how the union actually stood up for the employees. I liked how the union made sure we have retirement accounts. I liked how the union did all this stuff to protect us. And the union stops people with disabilities from being discriminated against. So I was never discriminated against at Cup Foods. Never. Um, and and I and um, that's the hard part when you're disabled like me and you have sucky vision. No one wants to give you. No one like the big IT industry, the big financial industry, even Hennepin County, the place that's supposed to help disabled people and help disabled people get work, discriminate against you. And even the places like state services for the blind, they're supposed to help blind people and visually impaired people find employment, discriminates me because I told them I want to work there, right? Like, cool, I want to work for state services for the blind. And my worker Travis said, "Can you read Braille?" And I'm like, "No, but you're state services for the blind. You can teach me how to read Braille." And he literally told me, my worker, "No, you can't work here because you must be blind and you must read Braille." And I'm like, even my own state services for the blind won't even hire me because I have some vision. If I could literally stab my eyeballs out and fed my eyeballs to the sharks and said, "Look it, I'm completely blind," that's when a company like State Services for the Blind will actually take me seriously and hire me. Because I have visually impairment and I'm not completely blind like them. Um, they won't hire me. I went to PCs for People. They're in St. Paul, over by the new soccer stadium, and they help people over. They're like St. Paul's version of Free Geek. Minneapolis, you know how Free Geek helps, like I said, helps people disabled and stuff. People get computers and stuff. Um, PCs for People is St. Paul's version of Free Geek. It helps disabled people, low income people get computers. I even went to interview with them, a nonprofit who's supposed to help disabled people. And they still discriminate against me because the lady over there says, "Oh, we don't know if you can do this job because of your low vision." And even a place who's supposed to help disabled people discriminates against disabled people. So that's the issue about being low vision and disabled people. The nonprofits that are supposed to help disabled people are ran by non-disabled people. And then they discriminate against disabled people who want to work at a program who's supposed to help disabled people, because the program that's supposed to help disabled people is ran by non-disabled people. So that's the hard part, I'm going to say, is that being a blind and visually impaired man, you get discriminated against. And even by the organizations like Hennepin County, their job is to hire disabled people and give them jobs. Even when they won't hire you because of your low vision, it's a problem. It's a problem. And no one wants to fucking talk about it. And I keep screaming out to the wind on the internet and on Facebook. This is what our capabilities as visually impaired and blind people are, and disabled people. And there's like disabled people who live off Social Security that make podcasts interviewing other blind and visually impaired people and all that stuff. And they share them on Facebook. They share them in their local community groups. And no one listens to them. And because no one listens to their podcast episodes, they don't learn what disabled people can do. And because they don't learn what disabled people can do, they still discriminate against us. Um, like us, a lot of us, like me, that's working, that's disabled, podcasters who are not working, who live off Social Security, who's making podcasts like you, that interview disabled people and what we're capable of, are also shouting to the wind, saying, "Help! We need help!" And no one's fucking listening. No one. And my dream is to get a job in IT. I want a job in IT, in the IT field, but no one is giving it to me. And I'm angry and I'm frustrated and I want to go and strangle people. But I tell myself, Dustin, do this debt collection agency. The managers are there are nice. My coworkers are nice. And I'm just gonna work at this debt collection agency until I can find something in IT. Um, and if I never do, I never do. At least I can say I died trying. I died trying. I tried trying to get a job that helps other disabled people. I died trying getting into the IT industry. And I died trying being a productive disabled person. I got my own place. I bought my own furniture. I'm working a full-time job. I'm no longer a medical assistant. I'm on private insurance. I am taking the bus to work every day. I pay for my own bus rides. I live in an apartment just like everyone else. I live in a normal apartment that's not even government funded. I'm trying to be this powerful, confident, disabled person. But the damn world keeps putting fucking barriers in front of me. And I'm just trying my best to not be negative online when I'm promoting what disabled people can do. But it's just hard when society doesn't give you a chance. And I'm pissed. I'm very, very, very pissed. And every day I have to like calm myself down and say, "Hey, Dustin, one day you'll get a job in the IT industry. You'll have the kids you want. You'll be married. And everything in your life is going to go fine. You're only 26. You're going to be okay." Um, and so that's those are some difficulties I face being visually impaired. And also, I don't get to see my family a lot. I just don't because like 75% of them lives up in St. Cloud. So the only relative I have down here in the cities is my cousin Katie. And if I want to see my family, I have to make it all the way out to Elk River, or I have to make it all the way to St. Cloud. And then people are so busy that they don't really have time to come see me. So I'm pretty much here in Minneapolis with only one person I can trust or one cousin I can talk to. And she even has her own life. She has to work, she has friends she has to talk to and stuff. And I'm just here by myself, trying to be a productive, strong, confident, powerful disabled person that can that's trying to prove to everyone, hey, disabled people like me can live a normal life just like sighted people if they give us a fucking chance. But because that's not happening, because that's not people are not giving me that chance, I'm becoming a damn bitter, angry, frustrated person. And I have to remind myself that Dustin, you're only 26. You have plenty of time to get into the IT industry and to be an IT professional. My dream, IT professional. But let's see how the world goes.